gentlemen, to the Downkirk podcast. I'm Ethan Downing.
And I am Robert Kirkendall III.
And today our opening topic is Steven Seagal movie titles. I
Yep.
looked up his filmography on Wikipedia. He has been in a lot of movies. I was surprised at the number of straight to DVD movies he has.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I didn't realize how many movies that I've seen that I didn't realize probably were straight to video. I just didn't even realize it. Like, do you ever think about that? Like, how many action movies you see online or something like that, and you're like, oh man, it's super low budget, and then you find out later it was a straight to DVD one that got
Yeah, actually, straight to DVD traditionally are like one of two things. It's either like children's animation, so like you have like a lot of like the Scooby-Doo movies, where like the ones I love.
Can see that.
You know, like Zombie.
Jerry.
Yeah, Zombie Island. I love Scooby-Doo Zombie Island's like one of my favorite movies ever. In terms of Scooby-Doo's. But other ones are action movies. Like the market for them is like different.
Horrors.
So like, what did you say?
Horrors are big too. Horrors are big straight to DVDs as well.
Yeah, I feel like action is a little bit more though. Maybe because they've been better at it. Like,
well, because remember we were talking about that one time about how like they had an era in horror film where, and like right when VHSs came out, called like video nasties. You remember that?
Oh
where
yeah,
it was, like,
yeah.
extremely gory to the point where like they had to do straight to DVD. You know?
Well, yeah, straight to VHS, but yes.
Straight to VHS, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just, it's the same concept. I just meant like the reason why those were like a little different. I'm saying straight to DVD with action movies. Sorry, tend to be like they'll take like a good idea. So like say Universal Soldier, and they'll be like, all right, this one made a little bit of money, so we'll make 4 more sequels. You know what I mean? Like they'll say this one made like a good enough amount of money to where we'll just keep pumping them out.
To be honest, though, as good as some of his early work is, like Steven Seagal, he's only made 1 sequel, Under Siege 2. That was it.
Yeah. Well, Under Siege was his biggest film.
Kind of crazy. I liked Under Siege.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that I've never been like blown away. I've never been like, oh my gosh, that was an amazing. Like, could you believe the stunts they did?
Yeah.
Like how John Wick or like the Fast and Furious movies are. Like they drove their car into a helicopter. Like there's never anything like insane like that.
I felt as a kid when I watched his action movies, because my stepdad was a decently big fan of his. I felt like when I watched like his early stuff, they felt like things you'd watch like on late night television. You know, like you'd like wake up in the middle of the night and you just see Steven Seagal kicking some butt. And I really liked that part of them because it just felt like I discovered something so weird and unusual. And then like later on down the line, like when he starts getting more money and then like at some point in his career where he just starts making movies so he can have money, it really goes downhill. But like in the early, like I think the first 3 movies he did were like, I think it was probably my favorite. I forget what they're called. I think like Out for Justice is one of them.
Above the Law.
Above the Law,
Under
Above the Law.
Siege, Hard to Kill.
Early
ones.
Yeah.
So let me list a few of the titles that I thought that were kind of similarly titled.
Yeah.
So you have Above the Law, and then much later, 30 years later, you have Beyond the Law.
Beyond the Law.
Hard to Kill, Out for a Kill, Driven to Kill, Contract to Kill, and Kill Switch. These are all Steven Seagal movies.
Kill Switch. It's gonna be tough to beat Kill Switch.
Yeah, and then Out for Justice, Mercenary for Justice, Urban Justice. So
wow,
those are good. And then you have The Glimmer Man, Shadow Man, A Dangerous Man, and A Good Man. I've only seen A Good Man out of that.
Wow. Honestly,
Exit Wounds is one. Fire Down Below is one. There's a bunch of other ones like On Deadly Ground. There's a few funny ones. Fire Down Below. Half Past Dead. There's other ones with Belly of the Beast.
Dude, Half Past Dead actually might beat Kill Switch. What time is it? It's half past dead.
Dude, there's one that's called Today You Die. Today You Die, 2005. Dragon Squad, Attack Force. That's such a generic title for an action movie. Attack
Sounds
Force.
like a rip-off of Fantastic Four. We're the Attack Force.
The Onion movie is a movie he did. Against the Dark. So many. The Keeper, Machete. Oh, he's in Machete. That was a big one.
Yeah, Machete's a big one, yeah.
So I don't know if this is like a spoof movie, but there's a movie that he did called Sheep Impact. I don't know if that's a knockoff of Deep Impact. Oh, by the way, I just looked up his age. Can you guess how old Steven Seagal is?
Yeah.
Right
now. Wait, he was famous in the late 80s, 90s, probably about 30 around then. So if we go by that, so 90 or 30, he's like probably, I'm going to go 68.
Close. 71 right now.
Oh, man. I was close, though.
And his filmography stops at 2019. So I don't know if that means... It says, when I look up, like, is he still making films? It says, yes, he's still making films. Like, but the way that the article was, like, yes, he's still making films, is like, yes, can you believe this guy is still making films? Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like... He'll never stop making films. Like
he's just
guy's still doing that.
He's just dude. What if you just like you're like look, did he stop making films? And then you see like you look down on Wikipedia and there's like a whole nother section. It's like all of his post 2019 work where he had to transition into pornography. He's gone so low.
But his titles don't change. It's like it's like End of the Gun. You know what I mean? It's like all kinds of movie titles like that, but it's just porn.
Dude, that'd be so funny, dude. Like half past dead 2 part 2. You're like, this has nothing to do with the first one.
The Annals of History. There's one he did called General Commander. There's one called China Salesman. Like such a
dude. By the way, what is Steven Seagal like race wise? Like not even race, but like what is his like ancestry?
He's a white guy born in Lansing, Michigan.
Really?
Yeah.
He's so tan. He's so tan though. You think he did that? You think he just got really tan?
He looks like he has a little bit of Cuban in him.
I'm almost certain that he's Native American. Like I almost
Steven Seagal ethnicity.
Heritage.
All right, Steven Seagal heritage.
I don't really like the term. I think the term race is a little silly in the sense that like it never really like, oh, what race are you? Like I want to hear like what country he's from.
Heritage, like when you say heritage, which is what I got, it denotes specifically to like the people that he's related to. Like
that's I feel like saying like the country though, like which country, you know what I mean? Like what I just feel like that's I don't know.
So he was born to Samuel Seagal and Patricia Ann Fisher. He is Russian. He comes from Russian and Jewish immigrants, so he's part Jewish.
Okay, that's probably where the dark skin comes from.
And then his mother is English, German, and Irish and Dutch.
Dude,
so she's pretty white. She's normal.
Yeah,
you know?
as much as we she's that white cocktail, you know.
Well, the thing is that like almost every white person, like I don't know if you knew this, but if you look up like the 23andMe thing where you spit into the file, so they say the average person that was born and raised in England is 65% English. So like because like there's so much like you know what I mean, like my grandmother's British, I have an English last name, I have a lot of English people in my heritage. But I seriously doubt I'm like 95% English. I'm probably like this much English, this much Scottish, this much Irish, this much French, like because it's just they're so close together. You know?
Yeah. No, for sure. I feel like that's like it's funny that you said that because I feel like that's true about how like they just kind of mix, you know. Like I feel like I'm 100 different things, you know. Go ahead.
I found out recently that my mother's maiden name, which was Jurgensen, not to be confused with Jorgensen. Sonny Jorgensen, the famous Redskins quarterback, but because Jorgensen with a O is a lot more common than Jurgensen with a U. It's like Schmidt and Smith, like that's how it was back then. It's like
Schmidt,
and so
I feel like Schmidt is clearly a downgrade.
Yeah, totally. Or Smythe. It's Smythe. Okay. It's no, but yeah. So I found out that name is Danish. It's from Denmark. So. Technically, if you go just by like your mom's last name and your dad's last name, it's English and then Danish. So I'm technically half Danish. But the problem is that my mom's family has been in America for hundreds of years. So I don't know how much Danish blood they still have left. You know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of Danish people in America. You know?
No, that makes sense, dude. I do want to say though, for Steven Seagal, I really feel like I think it was his first 3 or 4 movies. He actually was a really good action guy. Like I actually like those movies. There's about like when he got onto the scene, I think he did really good, and then at some point, he just fell off. Like he just lost it all.
Well, so it says which movies here are direct to video and which movies are like theater release, and almost all of them are direct to video. He actually even earned a directorial credit in 1994 for On Deadly Ground. And then, let me see.
Is that a remake? There's actually another movie in the 50s called On Deadly Ground. Or no. On Deadliest Ground, maybe.
And then in 1998, when he did The Patriot, every movie after that was either direct-to-video or limited release. So I'm guessing when limited release, it means like there's just like a handful of theaters in like New York and LA that like released them. Like because I know that a lot of times, like even independent films where like only like 100 people ever see it, like they'll have a limited release sometimes. You know?
Well,
like,
for those movies specifically, they'll have really limited, but sometimes like limited release.
Films?
Yeah, limited release though can just mean we put it instead of like 1,000 theaters, we put it in 500. You know, I'm saying there are a lot of times where you hear limited release, and we'll get them in Kansas City all the time, and I'm like,
well, because it could be regional, it could be like the whole Midwest, but like not the coasts, or like
just
the Pacific Northwest. Or
well, actually, the thing about that is it would be LA and New York absolutely get almost every movie because they actually that's like a stipulation about them being like about films being nominated for the Oscars and stuff, or for being almost for like any award. They have to play for a certain amount of time in LA or New York. Like I don't know why, but that's for some reason that's how they have it set up. So those places get every movie imaginable. But a place like Kansas City, maybe they just sent it to like 50 places. You know what I mean? Like the top 50 cities in America, and then that's limited release. You know?
Well, it could be like maybe the director or like the star was from like Cincinnati, so they're like, "Hey, put it in Cincinnati" or something like that. And it doesn't.
I mean,
kind of makes sense to be there. So.
Yeah, I just mean like it. I think it also helps that the AMC headquarters actually is in Kansas City, or it's in Overland Park. But
oh no way, really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Wait, is it a theater with the headquarters in the back, or is it like a
office building? No, it's like an office building. It says AMC, dude. It's at Town Center, dude.
For some reason, I'm not remembering that building. Is it like a skyscraper, or is it just?
No. It's actually not that. It's actually not that big. No, you know AMC started in Kansas City, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Well, because doesn't it stand for American Movie Company?
No, American Multiplex. I think Multiplex Cinemas.
Motion Picture Company.
Maybe? No, American. No, it's American Multi Cinemas. I think. American Multi Cinemas.
Well, it's definitely American something company.
Yeah, we agreed. We know the A is American. We got it. I'm telling you, it's multi-cinema.
Yeah, multi-cinema.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, no, it's just American multi-cinema. The C.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Cinema.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying American multi-cinema company.
No.
The MC was a part of the.
No. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it started in Kansas City. It's in. Like I said, the headquarters is in Overland Park. So that might also be why we get.
I need to look up the headquarters.
Dude, we've passed by it 100 million times.
Maybe I just don't remember. I just don't remember, dude. It's so upset at me. I don't remember.
That's it, dude. I'm gonna bully. Get over here, dude. Like, turn off the cameras, dude.
Okay, well, they have like a super futuristic looking building when I type in like AMC.
Let me see.
It looks nothing like. All right, let me type it in. Do you want to share? Can I share my screen?
No, actually, wait. Can you send it to me on the phone?
Okay, I'll send it to you. Even though our audience is like 2 people.
They're so disappointed right now.
Yeah, like I can't see what the thing. But yeah, like I don't ever remember walking in front of that building. Like when you.
Dude, we've definitely.
I'm saying we may have, but I'm saying that the image you look up is not the one we've walked in front of.
All right, did you send it to me on Messenger?
I sent it to you on. Did you not get it through text?
No, I still have not gotten it through text. So I said Messenger, buddy. Oh, that was funny. He said, "Oh," but yeah, dude. I'm sure. Let me see.
Okay, I just sent it to you on Messenger. See, that's the picture that pops up.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But okay, dude. The problem with this photo though is that like it's not. This is like one of those photos.
Brick building too that comes up.
Yeah. Because that's where look right next to it. That's where they have the parking lot. Do you remember that parking lot? And at AMC Town Center, you look over and you see the Sprint building.
I just don't
Dude,
remember a whole lot from Times
this
Square. I'm just
photo.
seeing another picture. It's a
Yeah,
brown
dude.
brick building. Is that the one you're
This.
talking about? Wait.
Uh.
I just sent you that one. Is that the one you're talking about? The brown brick tower one?
Yeah, that's in. No, that's not AMC. No, that's not AMC. That's Detroit.
Oh yeah, dang it! It says historic Detroit. That sucks.
But no, dude, the AMC, dude, that headquarters right there. I'm saying, dude, it doesn't. Okay, they're like isolating the building and making it look like it's like this off onto this own like area in town center. But dude, it's like you don't even notice it. It's so close.
It's funny when you type in I don't know if you knew this, but AMC was also the abbreviation for the American Motor Company. That is the AMC headquarters, just a different AMC.
That's funny.
Oh man.
No, dude, that's like the.
I don't. For some reason, I just don't remember it. I mean,
dude, that's like the photo. That's like the photoshopped version of that building. That's the best it's ever looked.
Are they just not showing anything around it?
Yeah, dude. I'm telling. It's literally right next to like a loft.
I've been in the A loft.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm saying you remember it vaguely enough to say it's right across the street from BurgerFi. So I'm saying if you go all the way down that road that A loft is on. Yeah, well, right? Yeah, is it? I thought it was in Overland Park, but it might be Leawood. The problem with Kansas, dude, is that. What do you, dude? I'm pretty sure. Is that Leawood? I feel like it could be Overland Park.
Well, how many burger? I think there's a few different BurgerFis.
Town Center. That's true, but it's the one that's in Town Center.
I get Town Center and Crown Center confused.
Yeah, dude. Actually, you're right. It's in Leawood. Okay, but Leawood. Okay, Leawood and Overland Park are practically cousins, dude.
But I remember there being a theater next to.
Yeah, there is.
That A loft was, but I don't remember that being a headquarters.
No, the theater isn't. The theater isn't because it's all the way down. It's all the way down. It's like all the buildings all the way down.
Near the theater?
Yeah, it's like maybe like a block, maybe if that. But you can see it from like the theater.
But it's two separate buildings.
Yeah, it's two separate buildings. Because one's in a functioning theater and the other one's the actual headquarters.
Just like an office building or whatever.
Yeah. It does look futuristic though. But dude, do you remember when we went to one of my favorite moments of us going to a movie together is when we went to the AMC and it was AMC in a mall. That's the last time I think I went to a movie in a mall, by the way. No, because
movie theaters are awesome.
Dude, I know.
It's
dude.
So cool. The Great
Mall?
Remember the Dickinson theaters from the Great Mall?
Yeah, dude. Fan. Well, it was kind of bad, but yeah, it was fun though. It's always fun.
Dude, back in its heyday, it was awesome.
No, it was. Dude, but do you remember? Okay, so in Chicago, we went all the way up to the top, and there's the theater, the AMC theater, all the way at the top, and we watched.
On the ninth floor.
Yeah, dude, and we watched freaking. Yeah, we watched Inferno, and you ordered a brownie milkshake, I think, or an Oreo milkshake, and you drank it all like pretty quickly, and you're like, oh god, and you're like, oh god, I could really sleep that one off, right? And I look over at you, and you're like. And you watch like the first like 15 minutes and then woke up periodically and you're like, wow, Felicity Jones is really hot. And then you went back to sleep.
Well, I remember that one guy jumping off the building at the beginning of the movie. And then I remember just Felicity Jones. And then I remember her and Tom Hanks in that movie too.
Yeah. But
I think I must have rewatched that or something. Because I remember a lot of Inferno now. So I think I probably rewatched it.
Yeah. No, I mean you probably did, but it was just so funny how you fell asleep right away. Yeah, that day, that when we were in Chicago, by the way, we also watched in Rosemont. We watched Jack Reacher. Never, the second one. I forget what it's called. It's Never something. Never Come Back. Never Look Back.
I get Jack Reacher and Jack Ryan confused because
they're
both like similar.
Yeah, dude. By the way, Jack Ryan. Man, when's the last time you saw a Jack Ryan movie?
Shadow Recruit. Was that the one? Which one was with John Krasinski and which one was with? Tom Cruise, because one of them was a.
No, Tom Cruise isn't even in one. Jack Reacher is Tom Cruise. John Krasinski has the new Jack Reacher, right? Oh yeah, I forgot. That's what happened. They turned it into a TV show, but they had the movie though. Do you remember the movie was with Chris Pine as Jack Reacher? And then Hunt for Red October. Yeah, do you remember that? Okay. No, but John Krasinski's also Jack Reacher. Dude,
Jack Ryan then, because there's a Jack Ryan, remember?
No, it's Jack Reacher, dude. I meant Jack Ryan. No, there's a Jack Ryan. I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a John Krasinski Jack Ryan.
Okay, so there's a Jack Ryan with Chris Pine. That's the one I was thinking of. Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit.
Yeah, Shadow Recruit.
And then there's a Jack Reacher
with Tom Cruise.
Never Go Back.
Never Go Back.
Reacher 2. Yes, they were both with They were both with
Yeah,
Tom Cruise.
with Tom Cruise.
Jeffrey
It's
Dahmer.
funny. It's funny how I knew it was never and then a word and then back. I was like, never look back, never go.
Look
You
back,
know,
it could definitely be that just as easily.
I know, dude. Seriously, like it's like the Steven Seagal movies though, where you're just like, all right, we have five verbs that we can use. All right, we have to have death in this one. All right, we're gonna use justice
or kill, or
or,
gun,
or justice. All right, we're gonna use one of those.
Yeah, they did that a lot with the 1930s John Wayne movies. There was 3 different movies that had the word lawless in it. It was the Lawless 90s, and that's the 1890s they were referring to, and then the Lawless Range, and then Lawless. There's another one, just Lawless.
Dude, it's funny. That's how I feel about like words like Rio. I feel like they just add Rio, like Rio Grande, the Rio Bravo, Rio Lobo. Or isn't there a Rio Lobo?
Yeah, so
It's
he
a
did
Rio.
3 Rios. It was Rio Lobo, Rio Bravo, and Rio Grande. I think.
Yeah, dude.
I want to say Rio Grande is his most famous of the 3 Rios.
No, dude, Rio Bravo, dude. Rio Bravo is so
Bravo?
famous. And Rio Bravo is the one with Dean Martin. That's the one that you gave me. Remember when you left? When you left My Life Forever?
One of them's on the National Registry, and then the other 2 aren't. I'm pretty sure it's probably Rio Bravo then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Rio Bravo is the one where Dean Martin belts out into a song. He plays Chance. Dude, that's the. I don't know if you knew this. Tarantino says that's how he tests his girlfriends. Well, now he's a wife, but he used to when they like hang out with him and he like think about dating them long term. He'd pop in Rio Bravo and he would wait for the reaction. And if they didn't like it, he said, there's the door. I cannot believe that's the movie you'd pick. Is there a movie though that you would be like, all right, like you have to like this? I feel like I get why he's like that in the sense that like there are some movies I think are like, I don't know, for lack of a better word, they're like a litmus test. They're like a litmus test.
Well, I think that movie, I think the reasons why he likes it would be more of an epitome of his personality. And so, like, I can see that. Like, a woman that doesn't like any Will Ferrell movies. Like, Will Ferrell was such a big part of my life, was such a big part of my childhood, and his comedy, his style of comedy. Like, another thing, like, I think if I showed her Anchorman and she like just didn't like it at all, it would just make me think that not only does she not like Will Ferrell, but she just doesn't like just guy humor. You know what I mean? Because that is geared more towards men. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, because I'm not going to say that she just doesn't like humor, but I'm just saying she doesn't like a whole section of humor that I enjoy. So that would be a hard thing to get over.
Yeah, and for me, like, just to be honest with you, right? Like, it's like you said though, it's not about the movie. The movie really doesn't matter as much as that. Like, I think Anchorman kind of, like, whenever I think of you, I mean, Anchorman kind of goes along with that. Like, if she didn't like Anchorman, I mean, that would be. It feels like that's a part of your personality.
That's what I'm saying. What I mean? Like, and it's not just that, but it's also just the reason why I like it is like a lot of like the reason the why I am. You know what I mean? Like the reason I like Yes Man. Like, I love Yes Man. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. I mean, it's a very much a hidden gem these days, and it's not nearly as well recognized as 500 Days of Summer. Or Ace Ventura, or The Mask, or Me, Myself, and Irene. Like a lot of Jim Carrey's other hits.
Hold up. I do think The Mask is a little underrated. I do think The Mask in his filmography is a little underseen. But yeah, every other one you've said is pretty much.
And so it's like, I don't know, but I love that. And like, I don't know. I feel like if another girl that I was dating like saw that movie and she liked it, then I would know that she would. I don't know. I feel like we're on like the same wavelength.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, like that's like it, dude. It's. I mean, just imagine someone saying like, like you're saying, yes, man, and she just makes a loud fart noise afterwards. She's like, ugh. It wasn't that awful, you know what I mean? And you're like, what? Like I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know. To me, like, imagine, like, for me, it's like if somebody watched, I don't know, if somebody watched, I'm trying to think of one movie that I think everybody like likes. That I think like if you don't like this movie, I don't know if we're just not going to get along. I would probably say like if you didn't like E.T. at all, like I'm not saying like you can't say like, oh, the alien's weird. I think people who don't like the alien are fine. I wouldn't even say E.T. Actually, I would say like Jurassic Park. If I would go,
I really didn't like E.T.
I think E.T.'s great. Yeah, I think E.T. But I do think that the reason why I didn't pick E.T. is because I think there's a lot of issues that a lot of people have with it that are fair. Like they don't like the way E.T. looks. They don't like this. They don't like that.
I don't like the kid.
Really, Elliot?
I don't like the main kid. I hate that little kid. Yeah,
dude, I love
I think
Elliot.
he's one of the most annoying kids in film. But either way,
what? Love Elliot, dude. We gotta, Ethan, we gotta end the podcast now, buddy. I gotta go. No,
I got something completely unrelated. I need to
no, but I mean, like, if I showed somebody like Jurassic Park and they're like, yeah, I don't know, like they just didn't like it at all. And it's funny because Jurassic Park wouldn't be the movie either, but it would have to be like a movie like that. Oh, Star Wars. You know what?
That's hard.
You know what? Yeah. No, you know what? It would be Star Wars. It'd be Star Wars. Star Wars would be my movie.
That's not fair though, because 99% of people have seen it, and almost everybody like just colloquially loves it, or at least even if they don't love it, they'll at least say they love it because it's just in the zeitgeist of culture. No.
But look, but you didn't let me finish. It would be the prequels. I want to hear their thoughts about the prequels, dude. That's how I know.
Some people, I love the prequels. I know me and you both love the prequels.
Yeah,
dude, it would be weird. It was like there's some movies that are just hard to hate. Like it's really, really hard to hate Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971.
Oh,
like if you hate Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like when Gene Wilder comes on screen, if you just go, like, you know what I mean? Like everything about it you hate. Like there's something about you that just doesn't love life the same way that I do. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, dude. But like that's a huge deal if you don't like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Dude. Like, yeah. If somebody doesn't think,
do you not believe in magic? Do you not believe in joy? Like...
If somebody watches like. Could you imagine if somebody watched like The Incredibles or like The Iron Giant and they're like, oh God, like, can we just turn this off, please? I would be like, are you joking? Right? Or, no, dude, actually, no, dude, here, actually, I figured out what it would be. I'd put on SpongeBob. And if they didn't like SpongeBob, no, the show, the movie, well, first 3 seasons, as we've talked about before, but like, dude, I'd put on that in the movie. And if they didn't like it, kaput, dude, kaput. They weren't meant to be. That's what I would do.
Well, that is also more of a niche interest towards like children of the 2000s, more so than it is like.
That's all I need to know, though. That's all I need to know. If
you're dating a chick that's like 15 years younger than you when you're older, you know what I mean, and she doesn't like it, then it's like, I don't know.
No. But what I'm saying is, if they don't laugh, when he goes, "Where's my Diet Dr. Kelp?" Dude, if they do not laugh,
that's so funny.
If they do not laugh, then I don't know. Are we going to get along? Like, seriously, are we going to get along? Can we get along? Are we allowed to get along? That's hilarious.
It's just, I don't know. It's there's some movies and there's some shows that it's just like the movie is a test over whether you're going to let yourself have fun. Are you going to let yourself have fun for the next hour?
Well, no, and that's what I do. Actually, dude, I'm not joking right now. My friend, I saw John Wick 4 with like 2 of my friends, and we went. And dude, my friend, me and my one friend, his name's Jesse. He was like, dude, masterpiece, right? We were like, you know what I mean? I was like almost 10 out of 10. I say almost 10 out of 10 only because
fight choreography.
Yeah. I was like I only say almost 10 out of 10 because I do wish I had like maybe felt a little more emotion towards the sad parts, But outside of that, though,
the story.
Yeah. Outside of that, though, dude, it literally, I mean, it was nearly perfect. You know what I mean? And then our other friend that was like, I don't know. The fight scenes weren't as inventive. They weren't as interesting. It was a little boring. And I remember I told my other friend, I was like, dude, I don't know if I could be his friend anymore. I don't, dude, if he, not even like, it's funny because I was partially joking, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, God, like if you don't recognize that as a masterpiece, like, I don't know, are we ever going to have a similar opinion on anything? Can we even talk about movies?
I feel like if you don't like John Wick, then you just don't really particularly like the action.
Action, exactly. That's what I told him. I said, do you just not like action? I was like, it's fine if you don't like action, but did you see the movie on screen? Because that was I've never seen John Wick in maybe like a couple other movies like spread apart, not like in a series. I've seen where they were like, wow, that's an action movie. Like you leave it and you go, that's an action movie, And it was like, did you watch the movie? Like, did you like? Did you have eyes? Were you blind for a second? Were you blind at some period in the movie because it was amazing?
It's so hard not to like. It's kind of like not liking The Notebook. Like if you don't like The Notebook, you just don't like romance in film. Like you just don't like romance at all. Film. Like and that's okay. But like now that's a whole other discussion.
yeah, exactly. No, that's how I felt. I was like, I told him, I was like, you just don't like action movies. I was like, it's okay, but like, don't. And he's like, no, I like action. I'm like, no, dude. You cannot watch that masterpiece on screen and go, I don't know, it was all right. It was pretty good. And tell me you like action movies. That's crazy. I mean, like, did you watch, dude, the whole scene I'm not trying to do any spoilers because there's not really any spoilers that you could give for it. But the whole scene where he's in the roundabout.
People die in John Wick 4. Like 1,000 people get killed.
Dude, the whole scene where he's in the car. Do you remember when he's in the car and he's circling around all the guys and he's just like pop, pop, pop.
The roundabout.
Yeah, but he's actually in a car for that scene. Yeah, but he's in a car for this part of the roundabout scene. And the other cars are like in a circle. Like they're 3 cars and they're all like facing each other. And these guys are like trying to like dodge the bullets, you know. And he's just in a car, like lining them up and like boom, 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 boom. I could not stop.
With one shot.
Yeah, dude. I literally could not stop laughing at how it was so funny to imagine like John Wick, like instead of legs, he has wheels now. Like he did his whole body is now just a car, and he's got a gun. And I was like, dude, when he had legs and he could run away from you, he was like nearly impossible. Imagine if he just used the car the whole time. He's like, boom, 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 and he's just he's just a transformer.
You know what would be awesome is a action hero who's in a wheelchair. And it's like...
Dude, that would be sick.
He has like a modded out wheelchair that like he goes super fast. And he can make it like do flips and like land and like do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like,
oh man, awesome. Dude. That would be so sick, dude. Dude, that would be literally the coolest thing.
Because that's kind of what they tried to do with Daredevil, like an action hero that is... that's blind, you know. I think they've done that a few times. So they had a blind guy do it.
Well, in John Wick they have Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen was great, by the way. Love Donnie Yen.
Johnny Yen's blind. Well, did you ever see the movie Don't Breathe?
Oh yeah. That was pretty good.
Was it Don't Breathe 1 or Don't Breathe 2, where he literally was in a dark room and he laid in a puddle with his hands in the
I think it's 2.
Yeah, remember that? He laid with his hands in the puddle with the guns in each hand, and then if someone stepped in the puddle, he could feel the ripples of the water, and he shot towards... I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, that's...
Dude, I will say... Level. Dude, by the way, speaking of Don't Breathe, though, that is really cool, by the way, but Don't Breathe, the first one was so weird. That ending, that twist, I've never... You know what I'm talking about? Where he's, like, using the turkey baster?
Yeah, dude. So I knew that scene was going to happen, and so... I had to tell Kaylee, like, hey, there's a scene that's about to happen. It's
you watched it with Kaylee? You watched it with Kaylee?
No, she likes horror. She loves horror.
Yeah, but dude, but that turkey, that's like, come on. That's not even a horror.
Spoiler alert, but there's a scene where a woman almost gets raped with a turkey baster filled with jizz, you know? And it doesn't end up happening, you know what I mean? But, like, and then in the beginning, he's like, I don't believe in rape. So this is what I have to do. And I remember thinking, like, yeah, you do, because that's what that is. And then, like, in the second movie, he even admitted, he's like, I've raped. Like, you know what I mean? He's like at his wit's end. He's like, yeah, my bad. You know,
he's a
egg on my face.
he's a convict who's feeling sorry for his past retributions. He's like,
yeah.
You know, I'm a changed man now. You know, I'm not turkey basing women anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, I seriously though, it's just so, you know, I don't know. I could have really done without that whole twist. Because the rest of the movie's so cool.
Yeah, and like, you want the blind guy to win. It was weird because there really wasn't like a good guy in that movie. Because it was about a bunch of people that break into someone's house, a blind guy's house, to steal his money. Well, so obviously you don't like them.
Well, hold up.
The blind guy either.
No, I do think you kind of like that here, and this is kind of like the principle that Hitchcock works off. I think a lot of his movies is that you do like the guys at some point in the movie, whether or not you're aware of it or not. I think you're cheering for them to get away. You don't like them necessarily because they're bad people, but you don't want them to get like got. You know what I mean?
Well, the main girl, like the main woman in the story, you are kind of like wanting her to get away for sure. But I definitely still don't like her as a person.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't say, but that's because like when you have those suspense sequences like that, you're like, oh, like please escape, you know? Even if you hate them, there was a movie. Sorry, I had a burp. There was a movie called Frenzy, by Hitchcock did, where there's actually a scene where the murderer he tries to put a body like in like I don't know, say like a semi truck, right? Because it's open. He sees it's like next to his apartment, so he takes the body and he puts it in there, and then the semi truck guy comes and he closes it, right? And you're like worried the whole time that he's going to get caught. You know what I mean? Like the whole time you're like there in the semi truck with him. Like they stop and then they like, you know, mess around. Like he stops at a gas station, gets like, you know, gas. And the guy's like freaking out. And you're there with the character, even though you want the killer to get caught. But it's just because of that, like it's like that, I don't know. Whenever things like that happen, you're always like, oh no, please, like, don't, you're kind of rooting for the person hiding.
They try to like put you in the
Yeah.
place of the victim.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
can you imagine if that was you being in the back of the
yeah.
truck about to
Well,
get killed?
Yeah, even though that guy, well, no, because that guy was a murderer, though. I'm saying the guy hiding the body was a murderer. You don't want him to get caught
So
in the movie.
Was it him and the body was in the?
Yeah, in the back of the truck because he couldn't leave before he couldn't dump it. Like he had to stay in there with it. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying at the same time, you don't want him to get caught because there's like this. I think there's this natural desire within us, like to like not like when we have those moments, with anything. Like I was saying, I didn't like any of the people in Don't Breathe. Like I think that was kind of the point. None of them were good. They were like what, but I still didn't want that guy to win. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I still didn't want the blind guy to win. He's the guy I didn't want to win at all.
In Don't Breathe 2, it was like you really hated the blind guy still, but then he had this like girl that he was raising, and then these people were attacking him, and
yeah,
kind of like, well, like kill all the bad guys so you can save your niece or whatever, but like can you die in the process of saving her? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's how I kept thinking. Like, don't like you be the last one to die. You like on your dying breath. Like, and that's what spoiler alert, but that's what happened. And Don't Breathe.
So many spoiler alerts over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to put like do not watch if you care to watch Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where yeah, dude, because we were talking about originally the wheelchair action hero. That would be sick. Dude, I want Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan needs to do that. Jackie Chan needs to be the wheelchair action hero. Jackie Wheelie.
Well, they had a movie called
wait, dude, I got it, dude. They call him oh my god, dude, this is a perfect name. They call him I'm just laughing so hard because it's so good. They call him Wheelie Chan. They call him Wheelie Chan. Hey, look, there's Wheelie Chan. Yeah, he's like wheeling away, dude. But at one point during the movie, he stands up, like in his wheelchair. And they're like, "Wait, what?" And it confuses everybody. That'd be hilarious, dude. Wait, isn't there that movie? Oh yeah, Tuxedo. The Tuxedo, where he has like that tuxedo that helps him.
Dude, Jennifer Love Hewitt was in that movie back in 2002. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Did you watch the rest of the movie, or just did you watch Jennifer Love Hewitt the whole time?
It was paused a number of times. It was still a good movie. You know what I mean? It's still awesome. It's like some of those women who like become famous and they're like supermodels. Part of me wonders like what their advice to like other women is. Like, just be hot. Be hot and you'll get roles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are they gonna say to someone?
Well,
be hot or be hilariously funny.
Well, I feel like but I feel like in defense of like somebody like first off, any actor, I think
she was also a child actor too.
Yeah. Well, I think the real advantage with being an actor, and I always tell, like, I think I've told you this multiple times, is that like it's about being charismatic enough to where we like you as a character, but like it doesn't matter what character you are, but we kind of like you. You know what I mean? Like every time I see The Rock on screen, I don't even like his movies, but I do kind of like him. You know what I mean? I kind of like, yeah, So I would just say that's probably what they tell him. Just be more likable. Just be, you know what I mean? Be a presence.
I don't get how someone could go into a career and just wanting to be an actor. Because if you just want to be an actor, I feel like that's such a hopeless career because you have to get chosen. It's not. Well, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's not about how great you act, because like they even talk about that. Like the best actor does not get chosen for films like as often as you think. Yeah. Sometimes this guy could be the greatest guy ever for this role, but then the casting director's like, well, we want him to like have a stronger chin, or we want him to be more pale, or we want him to. Well,
and it's not even. Like, yeah, and sometimes it's not even the look as much as it's just like, look, we have another opportunity with some other actor who we think who's kind of more up and coming. Son, yeah, or. Like that. Well, not even people always talk about nepotism, but I think nepotism I think it's fair to some extent. Like for instance, if I have a kid, I would love my kid to work on my movies with me. That's not, it's nothing. It has nothing to do with me not giving opportunities to other people. It has everything to do with the fact that like, this is my job. And like, it's like bringing your kid to work day. Like why, I don't know why people look down upon it in the entertainment industry. And now I do think it's wrong when somebody gets a shot that they shouldn't get. Like, I mean, I don't mean like, oh, this director or this person. Yeah, where you're like, yeah, but usually what'll happen is that like, so for instance, if my kid works with me on a film, right, they'll probably either be an actor, which again, anybody could be an actor, genuinely not trying to be mean to actors, but I'm saying I've acted, you've acted, everybody's acted. You know, we all act every day. I think anybody can be an actor to some extent. Like if he's a background character, or they get like an assistant job. So like the assistant editor, or they're the assistant director, the assistant, you know.
Anyone could be an actor for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not a diss on actors. Now, I didn't say everybody can be a good actor. I just said they could act. You know, like we've seen Tommy Wiseau. If Tommy Wiseau can act and be famous, then anybody can do it.
Anyone can do a halfway decent job at acting. You'll be like Leonardo DiCaprio, but like Kevin Garnett, who was in
Uncut Gems. Yeah.
He didn't act a single day of his life, and he actually showed up on set and just winged it. And he had one of the greatest performances like ever. Like people were like, I'm blown away by his performance. Like,
yeah, and that because I think part of that though is his charisma. You know what I mean? If you allow your natural charisma to carry you a little bit of the way, then I feel like it shows up on screen a lot. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I love him in Uncut Gems. I love Uncut Gems. I think Uncut Gems is it's kind of a downer to some extent, but somebody described it as like having a heart attack, and I think it's pretty accurate. It's pretty intense.
So, spoiler alert for Uncut Gems.
Hold up. Wait, what's this? Wait, what are you going to spoil? Which part?
A few seconds. The ending, obviously.
Okay, wait. You're going to spoil the ending? Okay, wait. I don't know if I want to spoil that. For some reason, my alarm went off.
I'm saying we're giving them a spoiler alert so they can mute.
Okay, but.
And then the entire time we're muting, and then they turn it on right now, right before I say it.
All right.
No. Okay,
right now.
So I really don't like. So like, there's a lot of movies about gambling, where like Mississippi Grind, 21. You ever see those movies?
I've seen 21. I own Mississippi Grind on DVD, but I haven't seen it now.
But it usually ends with like, oh man, like we get to ride off in the sunset with our millions of dollars. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I like that didn't necessarily happen, you know, with Uncut Gems. Like there was a little bit of like, hey, like just because there's this kind of like euphoric feeling that gamblers get that it's just like they just keep wanting more and more and more.
Yeah,
and I just feel like it's not good to like just keep rewarding that and to keep like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like the gamblers should like lose enough to like not want to like do it as much, you know what I mean?
So I think in this case, in Uncut Gems case, it makes a lot of sense why they played it like that, right? Because that's I mean, he literally was like psychotic, right, when he gambled.
I mean, his life was falling apart. His family was falling
it's
apart.
different. It's different though. It's different to me though when like saying like the gambler when he does it, you know. And I know why in the gambler he does it for a different reason, but
he wants to give away all of his money.
But in general though, even say if they wanted to keep it all, I think the idea of gambling for a cause, right, changes it. Whereas I think in this movie he was gambling because it just seems like he got his rocks off on it, like, and not like in like a.
He was gambling for gambling's sake.
And
he's an addict.
Exactly. Like he's an actual gambler. He's not like this is like there's an AA meeting for gamblers that he's going to after this.
Well, Mississippi Grind had scenes like that. Like there's.
Oh, really?
So it's about this guy. I've seen him in a few different films. I don't know the guy's name. So
Ben.
Ben,
I think it's Ben Mendelsohn or something like that.
Mendelsohn?
But Mendelsohn, maybe. Yeah, Mendelsohn.
Okay, so him and Ryan Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds is just like a fun, charismatic, ride by the seat of your pants, like just kind of like the James Bond of Las Vegas, just wants to like have fun, have a good time. He's not like an addict in the same way this guy is. And then this guy is like his partner, his like 21 blackjack partner, and they like create scams together. Well, one will like pretend to lose and give like subtle ticks, like, you know, to like let the other one, and then the other one can win, and then they can split the pot type of thing. And this other guy was so bad. There was this one scene where they pulled up to this house, and I was like, oh man, that was weird. Just like pulling up to this random house, like on their trip, because they're on a trip across country to different casinos, so that they don't get like kicked out. And they're just somewhere in the Midwest, and he pulls up to this house, and knocks on the door, and she's like, what are you doing here? And I found out it's his family that he just abandoned because he's gambling so much. And then he's like, can I use your bathroom? And she's like, I guess. And then he goes into his ex-wife's like underwear drawer and just pulls like 5 G's in cash out of the drawer. And she's like, she like pulls out a gun, and she's like, get the hell out of my house. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, holy crap. And then you have that, and then you have Ryan Reynolds, who's just like, oh, I can get cocktails for free. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, that movie was good because it showed the different the different reasons why people gamble. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
bad it can get, and how some people are just doing it for fun. Some people can lose 50 grand and it's not a problem for them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and another thing is that like what I like about gambling is not the gambling part. I think I've told you this. I've never even gambled. I don't like gambling. I think if I could gamble, if I could do gambling without gambling.
Contradicted yourself.
No. I'm saying like if I could do without gambling, then I would. But like games like Texas Hold'em only work with gambling. Do you get what I'm saying? Like that. Like I like the skill games. To me, it's a gamble when you're like, I don't know. Like if you're playing basketball, you're not like, oh, that's gambling because it's a skill game. Do you get what I'm saying? Like gambling is like when you go up to a slot machine and you put in the quarter and you know what I mean? Like that's gambling. And I'm not saying something like Texas Hold'em isn't gambling in the same way. I'm just saying it's different because it is a skill based game to some extent with a little bit of luck. You know.
Well, I mean, would you still consider sports betting to be gambling?
Yeah, I would because, but that's like a coin flip. That's gambling to me, right? Because there's no skill necessarily. Now there's like a skill, right? Vaguely a skill, but it's not the same skill that like I'm saying. Texas Hold'em is they have a whole league. We've talked about how like it could be a sport. It's not a sport, but I'm saying
you could do it professionally. You could.
Yeah, like it's nobody professionally. Spins, does the slots. That's not a profession.
Or does roulette or like blackjack has a lot of luck into it as well.
I think blackjack though is actually, I think they said is the one that like you have the best odds to win, if I remember correctly. But yeah, the point is I'm playing, and also another thing, Texas Hold'em, you play against other people. You don't play against the casino. I mean, you can play against a casino, but I don't like traditionally it's with other people.
Did you hear about that kid? There was this kid who was born and raised in Las Vegas, right? He came from like no money. Like drug addict family, like
really,
like single mom raising him. They scraped up enough money when he was young to buy their own like professional roulette, like spinner or whatever. Like
yeah.
And he would throw the dice, and he would just throw dice for 8 hours a day every day until he got the technique down perfectly to where he could manipulate it when he threw it to get a particular dice roll.
Wow.
And so this kid is like 22 years old, and he would selectively go to like different casinos across the country, and he would win smaller amounts, not enough to like
to set off anything.
He would get like 20 grand, and then he wouldn't come back for like another 6 months. Then he'd get another 20 grand. You
go on a tour. That's what they do. So basically, like the people who make a living off of gambling, what they do is they hit a place for like 20,000, like you said. The people that get caught are the people who win like 100,000 or 200,000. You know what I mean? Like they get greedy. In fact, there's this really great line in this movie called The Card Counter where he talks about how he's like, casinos don't mind you winning. They just don't want you to win a lot. You know what I mean? They don't mind you winning, like, because obviously they have to let people win. People win. I mean, that's part of it. That's why you call it gambling.
That happened at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. You know Dana White, the owner of UFC.
UFC, yeah. Well, he's not the owner, by the way, but yes, he's the face of it. He's the face of it.
He won $7 million at the MGM Grand. Like that's how much he was gambling with, and they said, hey, you can't. We're no longer allowing you in the casinos. But he didn't count cards. He didn't do anything illegal.
Yeah.
He was just on a hot streak, and he just kept winning. And then they're like, well, UFC is never doing an event here like forever, as long as I live. If I can't gamble here, and then they're like, all right, I guess your gambling debt's forgiven. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's crazy though because like, dude, you said 7 million, and I don't even know if you realize that like
7 million's insane.
That would I don't know if I can't imagine any casino. Like I imagine all the casinos might have been like, all right, we gotta do something about this. Like I mean, it
affects their stock price.
Do you understand? Like 30 people just lost their job. 30
like Jerry, you just kept feeding them twos. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that dealer, whoever the dealer is out. Like he's out right away, dude. He's out.
Someone got killed with a rusty shovel. You know what I mean? Like someone got taken out to the dumpsters that night. For sure.
A couple of people, dude. It reminds me of the movie Casino. I've actually been rewatching Casino.
Casino's fun.
And it's a fun movie. Yeah, I really like Casino actually.
And we're back. Sorry about that technical difficulty. But like there's something about Las Vegas. Like I'm against gambling for myself. I'm not saying like I'm not against gambling as an institution. I'm worried about getting addicted because I know the kind of person I am. So I don't think I would ever gamble besides like maybe like once a year type of thing.
Yeah.
But I do love just Las Vegas. Like, you know what I mean? And I also don't believe in strip clubs, and I don't believe in like all kinds of things that Las Vegas stands for. But there's something about like the lights, the colors, like
That's what they get you with, dude. That's how they get you, though.
It's just the buffets, there's something about just like fun. Doesn't it just feel like
dude?
fun?
Well, here's the thing, though, dude.
Yeah.
Las Vegas is the coolest place to be at night, and it's probably the worst place to be during the day.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Las Vegas during the day, during The Hangover, the movie, dude, it looked beautiful. It looked gorgeous. They had escalators.
No, it did.
outside.
Well, what I'm saying is that like you have to pay the bill. Like every day you wake up, somebody's paying the bill, right? Like
It's
you know
expensive.
what I mean? Like it's not. Yeah, I just mean like paying the bill in any way. Like I'm saying, if you got drunk the night before, you're paying that bill in the morning. It's going to be a bad morning for you.
Kaylee's about to turn 21 and appear next month, and we're planning a trip to Las Vegas because we're actually not very far from Las Vegas. And
wow,
we're gonna do it, but I want to go whenever the Raiders are playing, and then we could see a Raiders, because she's a Broncos fan, so we can see a Raiders Broncos game or a Raiders Vikings game.
Yeah, dude, that'd be sick.
The thing is that the thing that a lot of people don't realize, there's a lot of fun shows. There's a lot of like crazy, like Ripley's Believe It or Not, like circus type shows. A lot of like magician shows.
No, dude, it looks awesome. It literally, dude. So I've never been to Vegas, but I've always wanted to go.
I drove through Vegas, but my dad wouldn't let me get out of the car. So we drove around and we like went up and down the streets, but we didn't get out of the car.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, real quick though, where do we draw the line of gambling? Like if you play fantasy football and you put in $10 to the pot, you know what I mean? Or like what me and you did with Stefan, which by the way I won that 1 week, and I'm pretty sure you won a week. Freaking Stefan.
He told me I won a week.
Did he ever give you the money?
No.
Did he?
No.
Dude, for that 1 week when he told me I got every single one right except one, and he's like, "Oh yeah, somebody got them all right."
Well, because the thing is that it's a perfect scam because he gets $80, and then if you keep bugging him about it, you seem like a loser for like bugging him about $5.
Well, yeah, real quick
So
for the audience. Yeah, for the audience, let's explain. Okay, so we do this thing at our old job where
every week.
Yeah. We'd bet every week. We'd pick every single game the NFL played, and we pick the winners for every single one. And like we do a tiebreaker, we pick a score. We pick one game. I think it was a Monday night game. You pick that. You do the score for that one in case somebody had like a tie, or something like that.
For like week 6 or week 10 or whatever.
Yeah, we do it every single week, and you put in $5 and you get $80 out of it. And the funny part is that he did it with a bunch of people that like we didn't know each other at all. Like nobody knew each other. Like he was the only one who knew us.
It wasn't like it's weird because if it was like a bunch of guys working in a warehouse like moving pallets together or something, it would have been different. But if it's a bunch of people where like there's some people that come in the morning that for 6 months of me working there, I never saw their face.
Yeah. Well, and it was other people in like Stefan's life too. It was like, oh yeah, my neighbor's also in on it. Like people we're never gonna meet.
So weird.
We're never gonna meet those people. Like we're never.
Stefan's uncle or something.
And so he would every week. Like I swear to you, 1 week I did almost perfect. And I was like,
yeah, you got like 11 out of 16 games.
Dude, I got so good, dude. I did so. No, I'm pretty sure I got like 15 out of 16. Like I'm pretty sure I got so high. No, because I remember 1 week I did really good, and you did really good too. I think that week, but we did really good, and we were like,
we did so good that he couldn't lie to us about not being
there
best.
There were a couple of weeks where we did pretty good, and he was like, oh yeah, somebody did better. Like you guys got second or third, you know. And then 1 week we did so good, he was like, yeah, you're not getting your money. Like you know what I mean? Like he just basically told us that he wasn't giving us the money, dude.
I'm like, why am I giving this guy $5 every week? I'm just like, it's like I'm throwing it in the trash. Like time to throw my $5 bill in the trash. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
like, that's pretty much how
I trusted him. I trusted him up until that point. Do you remember? Like we did it because I just assumed that he was being honest. I really did.
Well,
I mean,
we both stopped paying him after that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, after that, it was like, okay, like clearly this is a scam. But yeah, dude, it was upsetting in the sense that like I was excited every week. Like it made everything fun. You know what I mean? Like I was upset because I really wanted to win. It's not about the money. It's just about winning. You know what I mean?
It's funny, yeah. Like that's the thing. Like me and you talked about claw, like the claw machine.
Yeah.
Like you don't care that you blew $40 straight to get this like stuffed animal, and you don't really care about the stuffed animal. But it's like it's fun to like be like, oh my gosh, it's got it. Oh my gosh, it's got it. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, and then boom, and then it's there, and it's like because there was like 18 times in a row where it got it and then it dropped it, got it and then dropped it. Like you know what I mean? Or it's like it's fun to see that aspect of it. But I'm trying to think of what are some fun things to do in Las Vegas other than gamble or go to a strip club.
Wait. But I did want to ask you though, because that's what I guess that was the point of the whole thing I brought with 7 was. Do you think that's gambling, putting money in a pot and then? I mean, that's kind of sports.
I'm saying if you put money on something, expecting to get a return based on something you don't entirely have control
over. Yeah,
like I would still consider investing in the stock market to some degree gambling.
Yeah, okay, but that's
you don't 100% have.
That's a little different though. Yeah, but that's a little different though because you could see that as like. But I'm saying if you put money into anything, if you bought a car, that's might be investing theoretically. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, but you're putting it to get something. It's not a gamble of whether or not you'll get the car. Like
well,
if the car costs $5,000 and I give you $5,000, I will get that car. It's not like will I, won't I?
No, but I'm saying the gamble in that scenario is that the car is going to be worth the $5,000 that you just paid it up. Because I've heard of people whose cars just
that's not what I'm gambling.
Die.
I'm gambling that I get it. You know,
yeah, but what I mean is
Coke from the store. I'm not gambling whether it's going to be a good drink. You know what I mean?
Well, Coke's great, but no, what I'm saying is that like, okay, with the stock market, I don't think it's gambling because there's no game involved. Like you could invest and just keep it there, and you could just want to be part of the company.
There is the game of whether or not the stock price will go up or down. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying you can't turn it into gambling. I'm saying I don't think it's inherently gambling though. Does that make sense? Like you can turn anything into gambling. You'd be like, hey, I bet.
I'm saying a lot of those tycoons who like get into it, who are always like taking money out, putting money in, like Gordon Gekko and Wall Street. You know what I mean? Like, that's gambling. But like someone who's just like, I want to own 10% of this company. I would say that. Yeah, I would say it's different. For sure.
I don't know. Okay, but I also think it's. Okay, so like for instance, because whenever say if you bought a bunch of gold right now, right, and you say, hey, look, I'm expecting the price of gold to rise up.
Well, gold has always rose up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, say it drops, right? But I'm saying, or pick something, like, say, the price of anything. I'm just saying, pick a commodity.
Maybe
oil.
Price.
Say you buy into oil. Just say you buy a lot of oil, not even like the stock of it, but the actual product.
A bunch of crude.
Yeah, a bunch of crude oil or a bunch of land, because you think it has oil in it, and then you find out it doesn't. I don't see that as gambling because that's a legitimate business to some extent. Whereas gambling to me is like you go in there with $500 and you say, this is like. It's not a business, actually. I don't feel like it's a business plan.
I think it's the immediate gratification part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that's where we agree on, because it's like you're right. Because you might buy a house and be like, well, right now I'm buying it for $700,000, but I'm hoping in the future it'll be worth like $900,000, and then it turns out it's only worth like $600,000. It's not like that was a bad bet. It's like it's like that's just how life is. That's not. Yeah, you're right. Like, well, I mean, because then I guess anything in that realm could be considered gambling. Like when you marry a woman, you're gambling that you're going to be together forever. But
yeah.
If it doesn't work out, it's not like you lost the bet. Like it's not like
that. Yeah, no, that's what I'm. Yeah, and that's why I also think like for me, gambling is specifically, and that's why I would count things like what we did as gambling, the putting in the money. But I count that as a different kind of gambling. Yeah, I count that as a different kind of gambling in the sense that like we're not doing it because we actually want the money, and that's why I don't. That's why whenever I play Texas Hold'em. I've told you this. If I were to win like $1,000, maybe not 100,000, like there would be a point to where I'd be like, all right, well, I want to keep some of it. But I'm saying if I walked in with $500 and I won, I'd walk in believing I'm buying this experience for $500. You get what I'm saying?
If I wouldn't. Anything over 500, it's an absolute blessing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I might even tip say I get 600 out of it, right? I might even tip 100 just to somebody. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's not about that. It's about me beating you. It's about me being better at cards than you are.
A part of me wants to be a blackjack dealer or to be a blackjack dealer or a roulette dealer just to like get a $20,000 tip, because that happens to people sometimes. Some people they win $800,000 on blackjack and they're like, here's $20,000. Here you go. There's they give it to you in chips too, and you put it in your little red vest with the tiny chip pocket, and you're like, dude, oh, thank you.
Dude, it reminds me of how you're like, Jimmy, you just kept feeding him twos the whole time. What are you doing?
Please don't shuffle me to death. Please. No, I do. But dude, tell me working in a casino as like one of the dealers wouldn't be like super cool.
Dude, that's like got to be top jobs. Like in terms of tips,
I would at least do it for 6 months. I don't know if it's like a career move. But
I don't know. I think it might be because you could do one night you could get. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing about being like a waitress that I think always really pays off. This is why being a waitress traditionally is like something people do. Because the gamble, and it's funny because we're talking about gambling, but the bet that you're making is that you'll make more money on people's kindness than you by, and that it encourages you to be kinder. You know what I mean? Like it just, to me, making that bet, like whenever I DoorDash, I do that bet because I know, like, look, I bet I can make more money right now than I could doing a 15-hour, $15 per hour job, because what I'm saying is I believe that off of people's kindness, you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of this, I don't know. It's kind of exciting because then you look for better deals. You try to figure it out, it's engaging.
Another thing like that, not to cut you off, but
yeah,
like, I heard this one comedy podcast and they were talking about that. They knew a girl that was, those girls that are bartenders for like a nightclub on like Friday, Saturday, like the hot girl at the bar who's like getting drinks for like 80 people. Dude, those chicks will walk away with $7,000 of tips in one night sometimes.
Dude,
just in like, because like people are drunk, people are crazy, people are hitting on the bartender, you know what I mean? And then she's like doing a little flirty like smile, like wink and wave type of thing to all the guys too.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not even anything to be ashamed of. You're just a bartender. You know what I mean?
Well, vaguely, because what if they're drunk? Like, I don't know. I was just thinking about that. What if they slip you 100 instead of a 10 because they're drunk?
No, but I'm saying like she would have no way of knowing if that was purposeful or not because she just got 100 from like 6 other guys. You know what I mean?
Unless he's like, hey, here's a 10 and he hands her 100.
Yeah. Well, you're creating scenarios.
No. But no, for real though, what I'm saying is that like, I would feel weird about it because this singular fact, when people are drunk, I don't know, because I guess you'd have to put up with a lot of mean people too. Like now that I'm thinking about it, they might get stiffed a lot because there's also the angry drunk who's like, where's my drink?
And there's also people that just get the drink and then they turn around and they walk into the crowd. You know what I mean? Like they're gone forever now. You have no idea who they are. You think a bar's business model is based off of the fact that like whenever they order a drink and they say, hey, open me up a tab, they may never see that man again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to start a tab, and then he never comes back ever again.
Dude, I heard a story about that, about how there was this comedian who's like from New York City, and you know what a bodega is, right? It's like a little deli / grocery store. And back in the day, they used to have tabs, and his uncle died. This comedian, his uncle died, and he got a phone call from a bodega saying, hey, your uncle's tab needs to get paid. And then he went to the store and paid his uncle's like $300 tab from like, the 1970s and 80s and stuff. And I was like, holy crap.
Dude, what if he gets the tab back, it's like $30,000 and you're like, why did you keep going? Why didn't you make him pay it at some point? But no, the reason why you can do that, the reason why tabs exist in places like that is because it's like a small town. You know what I mean? Like,
or it's like a neighborhood thing.
Yeah. That's why it's so weird to imagine it in a big city like New York. I cannot imagine they have tabs like that. You pay out probably right away. There's no way.
Well, it's one of those things where maybe it's like, if you see the guy like 5 times a week, then.
Well, yeah, or like the owner knows him, if the owner vouches for him, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Sure. Like if I don't know, because it's one of those things where I just think like, it's just be so difficult, to continue with that.
It would be. Let's talk about cities. I love talking about cities. I can talk about cities forever. What are some cities that you really want to like do like a deep dive like vacation on, like on that city in America?
In America?
I have never spent significant amount of time in Baltimore. I would love to do like a deep vacation in Baltimore. Like a week-long vacation. That would be fun.
I'd really like to do deep long vacation like in New Orleans. I think New Orleans, the reason why I picked New Orleans is because of the food.
New Orleans is a good one. Mardi Gras?
Yeah. Just the food though. I just want to, you ever actually do, I'd pick one of those places, like one of those real small places where like, I don't know, like I love these like tiny towns. I'm trying to think of like a famous tiny town, like some place probably in California.
We did Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and for the one day we were there, we literally did like every tourist activity that you could do. And like, you know what I mean? Like, we wrung the towel. We got.
There's some of them, There's some of them where like you're like, oh yeah, you could do that, but like I feel like there's other small towns out there that exist where like you're like, wow, that's you did a lot in one day, but I'm saying you could stretch it out over a week to where it's more of like a casual week, Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think Cheyenne, Wyoming would be a good like weekend trip.
Where
you can get as much as you could out of that, probably.
Dude, Missoula, Montana. I bet Missoula would be dope.
I would have chosen Billings, Montana. That's bigger. Billings.
I thought Missoula was. I also like the name Missoula. I also like the idea of just saying I went to Missoula. Dude,
Well,
anywhere
Billings
near
is
the
where-
ocean.
You know, Montana has that huge green lake, the green toxic acid lake. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I didn't know.
No, so they have this lake, and it's an old copper mine. And the copper mine was abandoned, and it was flooded with water. Let me look it up real quick. And the water there is literally like neon, like he just threw green paint on the water.
Wow.
Like, that's how green it is. Montana, I'm going to say Green Lake.
That's pretty green. You go in it, you come out looking like the Green Lantern.
Let me see. Poison, or I'm gonna type in poisonous lake because there's actually another lake. Because it's like a huge environmental problem as well.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it called? Oh, the Berkeley Pit is what they call it, but it's like a real weird lake. And so the thing is that it's really acidic because of all the metals and minerals that are leached from the mountain, and so they have all of these equipment around the Berkeley Pit that they fire guns with blanks to keep birds from landing on it.
Yeah.
And they have bird noises that they put, and they have like sirens that they put around the thing to keep birds from landing.
That's
and they
pretty
sell
crazy.
T-shirts like the Berkeley Pit, and it's like a whole thing. And when birds land,
Every year,
they like die almost instantly.
Wow. Every year they choose one human to sacrifice. Yeah, Jerry, this time it's your year, and he's like, woo. They dip him and they dip him in feet first so they can hear him scream.
Yeah, dude. Wait, let me show you this picture. Let me see. It's crazy. I'm gonna send it to you on. It's right near Butte, Montana.
Butte,
I just sent it to you on
Montana.
Messenger. It is green, dude. Did you get it?
Yeah, dude. Wow. That just looks like the sky is green, but it is really green. It's like emerald green.
I know, right? And it's getting to be a problem because the water level is rising because of like rainwater and things that keep falling into it and stuff. And so they have like pumps they use to like keep it
Dude,
low.
the way you said that was like things keep falling into it. You know, like last week my cousin fell right into it, you know. I was right next to her when it happened. I was, oh, Jessica, no. You like push her in.
They have signs there that says if you fall in, like, we can't, like, there's only so much we can do to help you. Like, you know, people can't touch you if you fall
you're dead.
They can't like drag you out. You know what I mean?
Dude, seriously though, could you imagine though if you're like, yeah, dude, last week my whole family fell in. You know, it was crazy. It was crazy freak accident.
Our house is on stilts and it just rock slid right underneath. And, I was out at the Walmart getting supplies. And the whole house caved in and everyone died.
Except me, you know, it was real tragedy.
All my beaver pelts went in there too, which is a real shame. It took a long time for me to acquire that. Shoot! I had my whole cowboy collection in there and everything. You know, it was real lost to me. You know,
there are
some things that I'm glad are gone forever. As well.
What if for real? What if that was like somebody's defense? Like, look, dude, I couldn't have killed my family, like because I couldn't have killed. You know, I couldn't have done this to my house because I loved that house, not because they loved the family.
Yeah, it's like I just put up aluminum siding. Why would I destroy the house? That doesn't make any like.
Why
we
would
just got a new roof last summer?
You think I'd shoot that window? I'm still paying that window off. Okay, why would I ever shoot at that window? It's the most beautiful window I ever did see.
I painted that house. Okay, I slipped off the ladder and broke my ankle painting that house. Okay, so why would I shoot up the house that I painted?
Why would I? That'd be so funny, dude.
I went to Home Depot and filled my truck up with Mexicans and painted that house, okay?
Dude, I'd really like to. You were talking about a single city. I'd like to do like a state dive, you know, like throughout the whole state. Like, I'd love to do that.
A lesser populated state? Like
yeah,
Iowa?
Dude,
you could do a deep dive on Iowa for a week.
I would be good, dude. Or like.
Me and you had a bunch of places in Iowa. Remember we were going to go on a whole Iowa trip, but then we didn't have money for it.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
We were going to see, because the oldest movie theater in the country.
Consecutively running movie theater, by the way.
Is in Iowa, in Washington, Iowa. And then there's that road that goes like super.
The roller coaster?
The roller coaster road. And there's like, and it actually does have a good number of small cities. You have the Quad Cities.
Yeah.
which is halfway in Illinois. You have Sioux City, and you have Des Moines, which are all pretty. And you have wherever the Iowa Buckeyes are. I don't know which college town that would be, but I imagine that would be
The Iowa.
college town.
It's the Iowa Hawkeyes, by the way.
What am I thinking?
Buckeyes, Ohio. Yeah.
Ohio. Yeah.
Ohio
would be a fun one too.
Yeah.
Ohio would be fun, but it's one of the more populous states. So
dude, we planned. Yeah. I would say Iowa, actually, yeah, because we planned out that whole trip, and I remember a lot of stuff. Like, we were going to go to the John Wayne Museum, because that's where he was born.
Yeah, there was, like, a lot of stuff we were going to do, actually, and we never did. Dude, we need to do it. We're reviving the Iowa trip.
Dude, seriously, dude. Dude, that Iowa trip would be great.
It's weird, though, because now that I'm married, you need to find a girl so we can do a double date trip. You know?
I need to get married, so that way I can have... Dude, I feel like that moment when you told me about how you're like, yeah, dude, honestly, I see why John wanted to leave the Beatles. And I feel like that, like, you're like, yeah, John was married, you know? I feel like I just feel like Paul or like, you know, George were like, oh, yeah, like, yeah, go home to your wife, John. Like, yeah, we'll stay, don't worry, we'll stay back and make some music, you know? We'll do all the boring stuff, don't worry. You know, and it's
they were all marrying models, and they were all in, like, their second or third marriage by the time the Beatles were done, except for Paul, who had, like, married at the end.
Yeah. I just meant, like, there was a time, though, where John was, like, the only one who was married, you know? And I just remember thinking, like, dude, it's kind of like... First one. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that scene in The Other Guys where they're like, all that unwanted sex we have, all that stuff we do for you guys.
With women we don't want to.
We do that for you. You know, and it's like, I just imagine, like, the Beatles... I imagine, like, John, George, and Ringo saying that to... Paul, George, and Ringo saying that to John. All that stuff we do, John... We do that for you. All that unwanted sex and all those drugs we do it for you. We do it so you can go home to your wife and your kids.
So you can go home to your frumpy wife and have missionary sex with the lights off. That we do that for you. It's like, what? What does that have to do with it? Why do you even bring that up?
That would be so funny, though. Like, but it just feels like, yeah, dude, I was thinking about that, like, after we went on the Utah trip, like after, you know, we drove up to Utah, I was like, man, dude, we may never have another trip where me and you are alone like that.
No, I think me and you will definitely go on road trips for sure. I just think that, like, I would have to coordinate it for whenever Kaylee wants to go on, like, a fun trip with her friends.
So there's never gonna be any more of those, hey Bobby, what are you doing? I really want to get Whataburger right now.
Yeah, dude, we could have moments like that for sure. It's different when we both have wife and kids. We can't just, like, leave without saying anything.
Yeah, hold up. You mean when you have a wife? Because right now I don't have a wife, so up until I get a wife.
There's a very good chance that 10 years from now, both of us could be married with kids. You know
dude, that's kind, but I don't know. 10 years? That's kind of soon.
35. You're saying you won't be married by 35?
Dude, seriously, dude, genuinely, dude, I think I might be one of those guys. I might be like a George Clooney guy who, like, he doesn't get married until he's like.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I see how it is. But no, I meant, like, by the way, has George Clooney ever not had silver? Oh yeah, I guess he had black hair, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
And I think he is married now.
No, he is. Yeah, but he got married after he was like 40, though. I think I'd be one of those guys. It just feels like it, you know. I don't want to be. It just feels like that's what's gonna happen.
Except for you would be like Steve Carell, like 40-year-old virgin. Then.
Dude. Wait, hold up though, dude. For real, dude. I'm gonna be like Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't want to do, but I'm doing all that. I'm sexual with all those unwanted 18-year-olds. Okay, those 19-year-olds. I gotta.
Except for he's like banging them. He's not Christian.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true. But I just meant, like, imagine if you were like, imagine for real though. Imagine if you were like, oh yeah, but Bobby's got another 19-year-old girlfriend. You know, like imagine if I had the dating record of Leonardo DiCaprio, and you're like, man,
my wife would be all upset. She'd be like, can you believe Bobby's got another 18-year-old girlfriend? And I'd be like looking at pictures of her, and I'm like, so I get it. It makes I'm more upset than like, you know, I'm like looking at the pictures.
I can't. Like, he's an
what a pig.
Awful. What a. Like, no, you just go. No, you're like, no. She like shows you, and you go, Jesus.
It's like that sketch idea I had where, like, me and my wife go to, like, have dinner at another couple's house, and then their wife the other guy's wife is like insanely hot, and they're like, "Man, did you see like Courtney's dress? Like what?" I didn't even notice. Was that her name? Courtney? Was that her name? Like
Corey? Was it Corey? I think. Did you say Corey? No, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't even. What is the dress? I don't even.
I saw the kid. Are you talking about the kid? Was that his daughter's name? I don't.
I was wondering who that lady was. That was like talking while we were like trying to talk the whole time. You know, like, I
she's so distracting.
Like, can you believe that pig maid was like sitting at the table with us the entire time? It didn't make any sense. Like, why would the frumpy housekeeper sit at the table with us? You know,
dude. But like, it's just so funny to think that like, I don't know. It's funnier to me. Like, you know, it's like that joke that they had. What was his name? Norm Macdonald, where he's like, yippee, you know, yippee. Robert Kirkendall III died today, and he's like, oh no, wait, yippee, my bad, yippee. Robert Kirkendall III died today, and when he said yippee, like he was excited, but yippee was the noun. But I said, did you like
yippee your wife? Was the name of the person that died.
Yeah. Could you imagine though if like
Johnson.
Yeah, could you imagine though if like if like your wife
dies?
Yeah, your wife shows you my girlfriend and she's like Jesus, can you believe this? And you go, Jesus. You're like, I can't believe it. I don't want to believe it. I can't.
Gosh. Is this even real? Is this even real?
Oh my gosh.
And then she's so like, funny. I know, right? It makes me upset too. And I'm like,
I'm so upset. I can't even.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny.
I can't even speak words. I'm so upset.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if that's how Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were. Because Matt Damon married a girl who was like a bartender who like already had kids. And then Ben Affleck married Jennifer Garner. I wonder if he was like...
Dude. And he married Jennifer Lopez recently, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah. Either way, dude, Ben Affleck is...
Either way, he dated her for like...
He's getting women. Ben Affleck gets women. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Matt Damon does not. Dude, Brock sent me this text, and it was this video on TikTok, and it was like Matt Damon. They asked Matt Damon in an interview, like, what line do people quote to him the most? And it was that line from Team America World Police where they go, Matt Damon. Do you remember that, where they always they show every other person in that movie, like it's like Alec Baldwin, he's like, we're gonna save the world, and then everybody else is like, yes Alec Baldwin, and then they cut to like Matt Damon, he goes, I'm Matt Damon, and he always Matt Damon, he always just sounds so stupid, dude. It is so funny.
It's so bad because Matt Damon also didn't do anything to like deserve that.
That's what I'm saying. People poop all over Matt Damon, and I'm not even sure why. Like, it's just so funny.
I could even get them doing that to Leo DiCaprio because he played a retarded kid in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. So it's like I could even see them doing it for that, or doing it for Tom Hanks, who played Forrest Gump. I could even see them being like Tom Hanks, but like Matt Damon, I can't think of a single role where he played like a dumb guy. You know? Like,
yeah. No, for sure. It's one of those things that's like so weird why they do that to him, you know?
Yeah.
But
dude, Team America's hilarious. Dude, the sex scene.
Yeah, dude. I even just love the theme song. America, F yeah.
Do you hear that? Like, freedom isn't free. It takes a hit.
Yeah. Dude, that movie's hilarious. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I think it's funny that because Matt Damon, for some reason, even still, gets pooped on a little bit. He's not. It doesn't make sense to me. He's like, I don't know, but it's funny that it keeps happening. You know what I mean?
He still gets roles. I mean, he still gets started.
Well, it's kind of like in Rick and Morty where like Jerry got pooped on the whole show, and I thought it was funny for a while. Like at first, it's really funny. At first, it is super funny. You know what I mean? Like nothing goes right for him, and then at some point, it got really sad. But I'm saying for the first season, it was decently funny. Like the Meeseeks were the Meeseeks. He's like, I want to like everybody like gives like the most like they're like, I want to be cooler. I want to be more popular, which is like not a very good, goal oriented thing because you're not really sure how to measure it. And he's like, I want to take 2 strokes off my golf game, and he just cannot achieve it. They're like, it does not matter what he does.
it's such a skill thing. Like they could teach him the exact way on how to swing, and he'd just do it, and it just wouldn't work. And yeah, it was like so. The thing about Rick and Morty is I really liked the comedy, and I really liked the humor, but Rick and Morty was like it was kind of like Always Sunny, but like to the max because it felt like Rick and Morty. Because Always Sunny is like people were crappy to each other, but it wasn't like as intense as Rick and Morty. People were straight garbage to one another, and it got to the point where it was just so much. There's so much hate in like the characters that like by the time season 3 happened, when the parents get like started to split up and stuff, it was kind of just like I don't know. It's just not fun to watch.
Yeah. Also,
being mean to each other.
Also, and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they always come back together. Like the gang's always always back together.
They're still friends that are choosing to associate with one another.
Yeah,
it's not like,
well,
like you know what I mean,
dude. I literally the other day, me and my friend Jesse, actually, we were sitting down and just talking about Always Sunny, and we were just laughing about all the different episodes. That'd be a good litmus test, by the way, to see if they like similar humor. That show is so funny, dude. Always Sunny is hilarious. Sunny.
I love I was just thinking lately about the Revolutionary War one they did. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
They did one where it was set in the Revolutionary War times, and you remember Cricket? He played like a soldier, and Danny DeVito's character Frank sold him a bunch of like muskets, but the muskets all jammed. And so like when he sold them the muskets, he gave it to his like platoon of guys, and they all just got massacred because their guns wouldn't fire. And then he came into the bar with like bleeding from bullet wounds, and he's like, "Your guns don't work, Frank." And then he's like messing around with the gun trying to get it to work, and then he's like, "Oh, here it is," and he fires it, and he accidentally like blows Cricket's head like all over the like. It's literally like a decapitated mannequin. And then
that's crazy.
Everyone's screaming, and then Charlie's like, wait. Check his pulse.
Like, oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. You told me about that one, dude. Dude, you know what?
He doesn't have a head.
You know what I really missed, though, about that is, like, what I loved about, like, being a kid when I watched TV shows was, like, watching them with people. That's, like, kind of why I don't watch TV by myself. It's not exciting to me sometimes. Like, yeah, I watch Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's cool. Game of Thrones is cool. But like watching SpongeBob with somebody else is so much better than watching it alone. It is so much better. Like
you can react to it with them,
dude. It is so well. Not only that, dude. You'll laugh. Like, dude, the fact that you laugh every time I say Dr. Kelp, like we both laugh, that makes it even better. You know what I mean? Like that makes that joke even better.
That one had a lot of good jokes in it too. It's not a boulder, dude. It's a rock.
Yeah, it's not a boulder. It's a rock. The pioneers used to ride these babies for miles.
And it's so funny to think that someone would write that into a script. Like, and rocks are just magic. That's the end of the script. Is that rocks are magic?
Krusty Krab pizza, pizza for you and me.
Yeah, or dude. F is for friends. And the F.
Dude, I love the one with the bear attack.
The bear.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, do you remember that? Where it's like the sea bear.
CAMBFER.
No. Yeah, the sea bear though. I'm saying the sea bear where he keeps on attacking Squidward. And he's like, "Why did he attack me that time?" And he's like, "I don't know. I don't think he likes you."
Like after you didn't do anything wrong.
I don't know. I guess he just doesn't like you.
he kept getting attacked off screen too, and like all the things he was doing just wasn't working. And he's like, "Make it stop! Please, make it stop!" He's like, "I guess just lie still," and then he just did it again. Or remember the one where they were stranded, right? They were stranded out in the middle of nowhere, and then they're like, "It's the magic conch. You got to pull the string on the magic conch." And then they said, "Should we sit here and do nothing?" And said, "Yes." And then they sat there and did nothing. And Squidward's like, "I need to go find food." And then while they were sitting there doing nothing, airplane released an amount of picnic supplies and a table, a picnic blanket, and all of the food landed perfectly in front of them.
Yeah, dude.
It was so awesome. It was just like, I love it when they do stuff like that. Like stuff, like it doesn't.
Yeah, no.
Animation doesn't have restrictions on like what you can do. You can draw anything in there, which is so.
Dude,
awesome.
Speaking of that, by the way, have you ever been to the woods though? You had any woods stories?
I mean, I would be in the woods when I was in the military, but I was never like I was never like in the woods like by myself.
What if you like you stumble upon a couple of the military members getting some relief. You're like, oh, hey guys, is that Private Downing? No, no, it's not.
Stretching out the new recruit. If you know what I mean.
Hey, Downing, you haven't gotten your turn yet, have you? Yeah, actually, Sergeant Johnson got me last week, so we're good. Don't worry about that.
I'm still sore. Yeah.
Oh, is that why you walk like that? Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Thought I saw you walking a little funny, dude. But like, what if, dude? Seriously though, I like when I was a kid, I remember there's so many experiences I had in the woods. Like, I remember one time when I was in the woods, dude, and like, oh my god, dude, I walked into like, so this is before I really understood what ticks were, but I walked into like this bush. You know what I mean? Like, I just used to do stupid things like that. You know, I'd like walk into like really like woodsy kind of areas and we'd play around. You know, I remember, and then I remember when we got back. My step-aunt, she was like, all right, guys, we got to do a tick check. You know, and I'd never done it. I didn't even know they did tick checks. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing people did, dude. And we all strip naked, dude. And we go through, like, you know, up and down, dude. And I remember, dude, like, all right, first one's clean, right? Like, my cousin, he's clean, you know. Second cousin's clean. Third cousin's clean.
On your dick at all?
I'm getting there, Ethan. So now they come to me, dude, and I got like, okay, so like I'm pretty good, like top, you know. Okay, I got like one right here. I got one in a weird spot, you know. Dude, they go down to like the crotchal region. Dude, and the whole time I'm thinking like, oh my God, like don't get one, like please, you know what I mean? I'm just, God, baby Jesus, please don't, you know, please don't have one there, dude. And I'm not even joking. Like they were like, oh my God, you know, and I was like, what? Dude, and that's when I learned I have like a mole down there. Because they thought it was a tick at first, because it was like a bumpy one. It was like a,
oh, dang.
Dude. But they were like,
don't worry, that's just his cock.
Yeah. It's sucking all the blood from him, though. They say something like snappy. No, he's got a bloodsucker down there, but it's a different kind.
Oh man, has the tick already bitten him? Is that why it's so small? Does it drain all the life out of it?
Yeah, dude. Well, dude, the scary thing about ticks to me is that like they're not like leeches where you can just get them off. It's like I feel like ticks have this really weird thing to them where they're like if you can't pull them off, like you have to like, do you understand? Like you have something on you sucking blood out of you, and you can't just immediately rip it off. Like you have to go through a whole process.
Well, people get Lyme disease, and Lyme disease is uncurable. People don't realize that. It's like they can't cure it. You just have it.
Well, so yeah, I mean, so is HIV.
HIV, but everyone knows that that's not.
Dude, what if? Okay, what's the worst way to get HIV? From a mosquito?
And HIV is like virtually curable now. Like they can get it to the point
whoa, hold up.
You test negative.
Virtually
HIV.
Curable is not curable though. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Like, you test negative, but like, I feel like I don't know.
I'm saying it's such a small percentage in your blood that it won't show up on a test, and you can't transmit it to other people. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't believe that. No,
that's a thing. That's a real.
But
thing.
how would you?
Magic
Okay, but how would
Johnson.
you? Okay, but no, I know Magic Johnson. Dude, Magic Johnson is always the case they bring up. But what I'm saying is that if they can't detect it in the test, but you have it, right? Like we know you have it, right? Then we wouldn't be able to detect it in somebody else if you gave it to them because we can't detect it in you. So you wouldn't know if it's being transferred. But I'm saying, but you wouldn't know if it's being transferred or not. Like that sounds like a line. That's not, dude.
There's just no effect.
Ethan, is that
effect it has on other people?
Ethan, that sounds like a line that you'd give your wife. No, like I have HIV, but like no, like you know, it's nearly non-detectable. I don't. You won't even know you have it. You won't even know you have it. Could you imagine? I bet that's a line they deliver, dude.
That would be so funny.
But do you want to head into our hidden gems right now?
Oh yeah, I have a good hidden gem. I just saw this Denzel Washington movie. I've been on a Denzel kick lately because I like all of the movies he's in. So it's like, why not just watch another? Like I've been getting into his like deeper picks.
Yeah.
I really like this movie he did in 1998 called Fallen. You ever see that movie?
No, but I've heard of it. Yeah,
it's really good. It's a detective movie. It has Donald Sutherland and John Goodman in it as well, and it's like it has like supernatural qualities to it too. There's like some fantasy elements in it.
Really,
which are pretty cool. Yeah, and very action packed, very like mysterious, suspenseful. It's a good movie. Like
yeah, dude, I'll have to check it out. When did it come out?
1998.
Oh, have you seen the one I've always wanted to see is Out of Time? That one looks really good.
Oh, that one's a really good one.
Yeah.
I love that one.
So my hidden gem pick is this movie called American Pop. It like came out in the 80s. It's actually like it starts off in like
American
the early
Pop?
19. Yeah, it starts off in the early like 1900s, and it's like it starts with like the Russian War, I think. And so these Russian immigrants migrate to America, and then they start off. It's like in the early like 20s or whatever. Yeah, came out in the 80s, I think. And basically, it follows this family through like the American pop scene, where they kind of help create all these songs that are really popular songs.
1981.
Is it 91? I thought it was 81 or 80. That was 1980
81.
something.
81. That's what I meant. Oh, so it's an animated movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it quite a bit, but it's kind of mixed because it's not necessarily like a real redemptive story, like a real happy story. But I think it's just really cool that this family. I really like following families through like many years. I think I've told you this. I really want to make a movie about a family, an American family that went through every single war America's gone through. I think that'd just be really cool.
That's pretty much how the West was won. That's what that movie is.
Well, it's not though. So it's how the West was won, not how America was won.
No, but it's literally like a family through every war in American history, like all the way up until like World War One. You know.
Well, okay. Well, mine's gonna be all the way up to the Iraqi War. So.
Well, there are definitely families like that. I know my family's been in America since like the 1600s.
Okay, you don't have to brag. You don't have to brag on the podcast. All right, we get it. Mr. American over here.
I'm just saying, like, not everyone in my direct line was in every war. Like, father, son, like, not every direct line. Because when the Civil War started, Eleazar Butler Downing was in his 50s, and he didn't serve because he was too old, and he had to practice. He was a doctor.
Dude, what if he did? What if he did serve? But you just said, "Wait, hold up. He could have served as a doctor. You don't think he ever helped? You don't think he ever sewed up anybody?"
He wasn't like enlisted. He wasn't like an enlisted volunteer.
But he probably helped. He probably helped though.
He had a son that was like 10 years old that couldn't serve either. And
that joined. He clearly joined. What are you talking about? 10?
The youngest casualty in Civil War history, in American history, was a 12-year-old that served in the Civil War.
Well, that's the youngest. That's the youngest casualty. Okay, but that doesn't mean that that's the youngest. Could you imagine, by the way, like an 11-year-old being like, "Oh man, I escaped from that record."
It's like I was just coloring in my playhouse, and the next thing I know, I'm blowing guys' heads off. You know what I mean?
I was playing. No, dude. Imagine you know what I mean. You see him hiding, and you put a gun on him, and he's like, "I like Mickey Mouse," and you're like, "What?"
What's your favorite color? And then just just right between the eyes. Oh my gosh, that'd be so.
Do you like the blue one or the red one? All right, dude. I can't.
Trying to get that kid to like do normal stuff, like play kickball, and then he's like, "What's the point of all this? What are we here for?" Like, you know what I mean? Like he's asking like adult war veteran questions. Like, he's like smoking. Oh my gosh.
He's got a pipe. Like, you're 16. Get that pipe out of your mouth.
Not everyone in my direct line fought in every war, but I'm sure different relatives. I think everyone that has had a family that's been here for a while can say that. You know what I mean? That a relative at least fought.
Well, I highly doubt that there's a family out there that had somebody fight in every war. I mean, like every war would be.
I'm sure it's very common because you got to think.
I don't think.
Like, I'm sure I have a distant cousin somewhere that fought.
Well, okay, but the reason why I don't think it's that common is because certain wars only involve certain places. So like, if your family's lived in California for X amount of years, right? Then I'm saying you may not ever have, or say you always live in the North. You're not going to fight in the Spanish-American Civil or the Spanish-American War. You know what I mean? I'm saying like you're not going to fight in every single conflict. Like I think that would be.
I'm just saying there's a lot of people that like. You know what I mean? Your family tree is a lot bigger than you think. It's like thousands of people.
Okay, that's true. But I meant like close family though. I meant like family that like cousin. You know what I mean? Like keep it in like a certain bracket. Like, obviously,
decently, like in the line.
Related. Yeah, not somebody like I'm sure I have a lot of people who fought in almost every war. I'm sure you have the same thing to some extent.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying like even though not my direct line, no one fought in the Civil War. I'm sure I had a second cousin somewhere that fought.
Well, that's what I mean. I meant like direct line.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
Dude,
dope.
you could make it based off of like you could like look up one of the settlers' names like that was in the
Yeah.
Mayflower or something, and then you could
John
have
Smith.
like
John
yeah,
Smith and
you could
Pocahontas is their kids through the
John
years.
Smith, yeah, or maybe Virginia Dare's kids or something like that. I don't know. I've been to the Roanoke, the lost colony of Roanoke.
Oh yeah, how'd you survive? I thought that was haunted. No.
They built up the berms like where they were, like and everything.
Yeah.
There's only a few artifacts that they have. There's this one axe where it's like in pieces, and they have like every piece like in this like glass case.
Yeah.
And then there's this hollowed out log, and like some smashed pottery. But other than that, there's like literally nothing. There's
Wow.
like, no artifacts because a lot of people think they just got massacred by Indians and then like bled. And then the Indians were like lighter skinned there too, so they think that they bred with the Indians, like the children.
That's interesting. Anyways, do you have any final thoughts though? Don't go to Roanoke. No, I'm just joking.
Don't be a settler in the 1600s.
Yeah.
So watch Fallen, an American pop. And,
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say my final thoughts are: if you want to gamble, don't trust Stefan. I don't know Stefan's last name, but if you meet a person named Stefan and he suggests that poop on a sandwich, if he suggests that poop on regular sandwich bread tastes better than poop on croissant sandwich bread, then don't trust him.
We asked him, like, we said everything tastes better with a croissant, and he's like, "Well, poop doesn't taste better with a croissant." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, dude. He was like, he's older than us too, by the way. He's probably like
36.
30. Yeah. The fact that we had to tell him no, that doesn't count, Stefan.
No. Come on.
No, come on, Stefan, think a little harder.
All right. It's been fun. This is a fun podcast.
Yeah.
Check us out on Facebook and on, even though I haven't posted in a few weeks, but
yeah.
Still check us out. Email us and share it.
Yeah. It's a fun podcast. This is a fun podcast, okay?
It's like that scene in Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Are you having fun? Football's not supposed to be fun.
But yeah, that's funny. But yeah, it was really great talking. See you guys.
See ya.